So if you do also want to have the recording of today's session, it will also be on my website at christinagwira.com/meetup. So I'm now going to stop the share and we are going to go into building the site. So thus far, does anybody have any questions I can answer before we go into more of the technical pieces of today's session? You can just like unmute yourself or put it in the chat and I'll be answering it before we go in. Okay, looks like there's no questions. So, oh wait, hold on, might have missed something. Yes, because it's WordPress, Robert, we will be able to add more pages in and even replace menu items on the website in the menu with actual full pages. So yes, it would be possible to add more pages in later because it is still on WordPress. Okay, so let's get started on building the website. All right, so if you're familiar with Divi, then you're very familiar with this page right here. And this is your default Divi installation. We still have the sidebar here. We still have the default Divi menu, Divi icon, and that's fine. That is perfectly fine. So we're now going to navigate to the back end of the website. And we are going to, there we go. So we are now going to the back end of Divi. So we're going to go according to the presentation. So we're going to create 5 sections. We're going to create a hero section, an about section, a testimonial section, a blog section, and a contact section. So let's go into pages, all pages. And notice right away, as with the default Divi/WordPress installation, we have the default privacy policy and sample page. So we're just going to quick edit this and just rename it something easy to remember. Welcome. So I'm changing both the slug, which is the URL, as well as the title to welcome. And then we're going to click update. And before we even go into actually editing the page, we're going to turn on the classic editor mode in Divi. And the reason we do that is because it's a personal preference. I personally like to use the classic editor as opposed to Gutenberg. So there's a way in Divi to actually enable it to work with the classic editor. And so you simply go to Divi theme options, builder, advanced. And if you click here, enabled, it enables the classic editor. So there's no need for you to download the classic editor plugin. By just simply enabling this, you'll be good to go. So once we save changes, we will then be able to start work. So we're going to go back to the presentation. So these are the 5 sections we're going to create: a hero section, an about section, testimonial section, blog section, and contact section. And according to our list, we've planned out our section. So step 1, completed. We've created our page. WordPress so kindly did that for us. So now we're going to go in and actually create our sections. So let's go in and do that. So we're going to edit the page by clicking on the title, welcome. And that will open up the standard editor and the standard page in WordPress. We're then going to click use the Divi builder, and that will load the Divi builder onto our website. Yes, thank you. We love the new builder. Rah, rah, rah. And so while we wait for that to load up, we are going to click on this blue section to use existing content because we're building this website completely from scratch. And so I find when it comes to doing this first portion, oh, that's interesting. When it comes to building this first portion of the website, it's better to do it in wireframe mode, but you can also do it in the visual mode as well. But I find that it's always easier to do it in the wireframe mode because you can name the section. So here we're just going to click right on the word section and we're going to say hero section. And then we might change the section later. We're then going to add another section. And I'm going to leave that for now. We're going to call it the about section. And we're going to add another section, or regular section for now. We're going to call it testimonials. And we're going to add another section for the blog. And then the final section for contact. And what I like to do after doing this, oh, I'm seeing some comments. Give me a second. Let me go check this out. How do I see the chat? Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Sandra has a question. So Supriya, yes, if you go to my website, ChristinaGwira.com, tomorrow, I will have the recording of this entire presentation, well, their walkthrough up on YouTube by tomorrow. So yes, you can get the recording. So Sandra asks, if we enable the classic editor in Divi and you have the classic editor plugin, is there a conflict? No, there isn't a conflict when you have both the classic editor and that turned on. There isn't any conflict that I'm aware of. You are welcome. So we've created our sections, we've named our sections, but this is just internal naming. So this is just for you as you're building out your website to kind of see where everything is laid out. We now have to actually assign each of these sections an ID because that is what's going to be the link in the menu. So to do that, we're going to click on the gear, section settings. We're going to click in advanced. And then we're going to click the very, very first item, which is CSS ID and classes. And we're going to assign a CSS ID. And it's very, very important to remember what the CSS ID is because we are going to use that to link back to this section in the next section, in the next stage, which is creating the menu. So I'm just going to call this home. And then about, I'm going to go to advanced. I'm going to call it about. Testimonials, we're going to call it testimonials. Blog, we're going to call it blog. And contact, we're going to call it contact. And special shout out to everybody who joined us. Thank you for coming by. Like I mentioned earlier, the recording of this entire session will be available on YouTube by end of day tomorrow. So you can definitely scrub through it and catch up on anything that you've missed. But thank you for joining us. Your presence is felt. So now we're going to click on update. And then there's one more thing I'm going to do, and this is just a personal preference so that I can actually see the sections that I've created. So to do that, we're going to then again, edit the section, and I'm going to just assign it a random background color because I want to make sure that the linking is correct when we create the menu. So I just assign a random background color, and we will change this later once everything, once we start styling and everything, I will change all of that. But I just need to make sure that the actual functionality of the menu works out well. So this is what this looks like thus far. So it looks like a lot of nothing, and that's fine. And we're going to save that. So we are now going to navigate to step 5. So we've planned our sections, we've created our page, we've added in the sections, we've named our section. So we're now on step 5, creating the menu. So we're going to go to Appearance and then Menus. And we're just going to create a very simple menu, main menu, and we're going to assign it under display location under menu settings to primary menu. And we're going to create menu. So now this is where the very important part comes in about the CSS IDs. Because this is a one-page website, we can't have each of the menu links go directly to the page. No, we want it to go to each individual section on the page. And to do that, we don't add menu links on the pages section. We add it under custom links. And for the URL, what we're going to do is we're going to put a hashtag because it's an anchor link, which means it's an internal link within the page. And then we're going to add the CSS ID that we created for each section. So for the top one, I believe we used home. And for link text, you're going to put the text of the actual, what you want to appear in the menu. So here I'm going to put home. And then we're going to do the same thing again, about, link text, about, testimonials, blog. And remember, it is case sensitive, so please remember that. Blog, and then contact. And we're going to save this. Are there any questions thus far? Everyone good? Okay, so now we got a couple of questions. Thank you. Awesome. So next, we are now going to navigate to the front end. So this is what it looked like before. And it's probably going to still look the same because I forgot one major thing. So we have to set the actual home page in WordPress itself. So we haven't actually selected the welcome page to be the home page. So we're going to go to reading. And we're going to select a static page, and that home page is going to be welcome. And then we're going to go here and we're going to refresh. Ta-da! So notice we have our menu. We have home, about, testimonials, blog, contact, and we see the color. So now let's see if the linking actually worked. So if we click about, seems like it's not working. Testimonials the same, blog, contact. So let's double check to make sure that we've actually put the IDs in correctly. So we're going to just enable the visual builder here. And let's see over here. So we're going to edit this again. Advanced. Yeah, everything here is cool. Let's check again over here. Testimonials. Over here. And then contact. Just give me 1 second, please. How do I get back? So it looks like everything's okay, but we are going to double check. Hi there, everyone. Sorry about that. I had to change locations because my laptop was dying. Okay, so let's see and find out why this isn't working, because it should be. So let's refresh the page one more time. And let's go to appearance and then menus and just double check to make sure this is right. Yep, everything here is working fine. Huh, that is super strange. Well, let's try and fix this together. So let's see what could be going on here. So funny enough, I had a client who had this exact problem literally an hour before today's session. And what I found fixed the, oh, well, that's interesting. So I had this issue literally an hour ago today on one of my client websites, which I can show you, which is right here. And they also had an issue where their menu, okay, that's a bad example, wasn't working. And what I noticed fixed the problem was I had to update the Divi theme. So I believe that something in the current or an older version of Divi kind of breaks the anchor menu. But I want to check this out before I actually open a ticket with Divi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the Divi theme and see if that makes this work. Because I did have this exact problem with this website and updating the theme helped. So hopefully that works in this case, because this is a vanilla installation. No, it's completely brand new. I spun this up literally an hour before today's session. And I wouldn't have done this meetup if it didn't work. So let's see if that fixed the issue. So I'm going to refresh one more time. Let's see. Oh, so it seems like, I'm sorry, was anyone able to catch what the version of this, I think it was 4.4 point something, but it appears there might be a bug in Divi. But I hope everyone learned something from that, that sometimes the issue may not be you, it may simply be the theme you're using. So let's get back on track. But notice when I click on About, we are transported to the Read About section. When I click on Testimonials, we go to the orange section. When I click on Blog, the yellow section, and Contact, the green section. And if I click back on Home, we go right back to the top. So that in essence is what will happen when users come to your website and it's a one-page website. So going back to our workflow, as Robert so kindly put it, we have named our sections, we have created our menu, we've tested our menu, we also updated our theme. So now we're going to style the section. So let's just go and make a very simple hero section. At this time, does anyone have any questions I could answer for them? You can either unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat, whichever works best for you. Are there any questions at this moment? Everyone at par? Everyone good? Okie dokie. So, oh wow, that's great. The share stopped. Okay. All right. So we are back in the Google Drive, and we're now going to start creating our hero section. So to do that, we are going to actually change. We're now going to switch from the back-end builder to the front-end builder, because it'll be easier for you to see exactly how I'm going to style today's website. So I'm actually going to change this from a regular section into a full width header section. So to do that, I'm going to press on the blue add a new section here. As opposed to creating a regular section, I'm going to create a full width section. And the reason for that is because we have the full width header, which is what I personally really like to use for the hero section. And the reason for that is because it has this really cool feature under design where you can make it instantaneously full screen. And I find this is very good to divert people to one main call to action through the button, or have your slogan really stand out, or say a lot of really cool things about yourself. So I replaced the regular section with a full width header, and we're going to style it. So we're going to say, welcome to the Divi. And I'm going to have a pretty cool call to action. And I'm going to pick up some cool stuff from the Meetup page, and we'll just build a Meetup page right here. So let's take some content, and notice we don't really have much content. We literally just going to base it off of whatever is here on the Meetup page. So we're just going to copy all of this here, move it in here. Let's see if I can grab a logo from somewhere. Let's upload something. Like this. Let's maybe move into the header. I think that'll look better. I think it puts it on the, yeah, puts it on the side. Let's give it a cool image background of the Brampton space. Pretty large image. Make sure you use small images for your websites. And while that's uploading, let's put an overlay so we can actually see what's happening back there. Actually not. Let's maybe change the title font. Make it a bit bigger. So this is our header section that we have going on here. Let me see if I can add an overlay so we can actually see what's going on. So this is a cool trick I found to add an overlay on top of images in Divi. You use the gradient feature and you simply change the colors to have some form of transparency. And you can have a custom overlay on images, and you click place gradient above background image, and voila. So let's change that because that image, we can't really see it. So that's our hero section. And let's actually make a link to the Divi Meetup for this beautiful button. And we're going to save. Does anyone have any questions this far? Questions? Anybody? Anybody have questions? Is anyone following along from their own laptop and kind of seeing this take shape? And so if we exit the visual builder and refresh, we have our hero section right at the top. So if we go down to about and then click home. Oh, wow. Now it's stopped working. Or not. Maybe I did something wrong here. Let me double check to see if the header section is actually called home. So let's enable a visual builder and let's have a second tab open for the menu. So does anyone want to try and guess why home is not working? You can unmute yourself or use the chat. Does anyone want to take a stab at why home is no longer working? Anyone? You can either unmute yourself or speak in the chat. Okay, so the reason why, if you notice, the home no longer works on the menu. And the reason for that is because I deleted and created a new section, which was the full screen section. So it actually doesn't have a CSS ID. So if we add home back and save, and if we now click back on home, we're now taken to the top of the hero section and the top of the website. So we've created our first section, we've styled it. So now let's style the other sections. So typically for the about section, we have 2 columns. So we're going to add a row with 2 columns here. And we're going to put an image in the first column. Let's see if I can grab one from the arsenal. Let's just wait for this to upload. And then we're going to add some text to the right. And so I just like to go to Khaled Ipsum to get some words of wisdom from DJ Khaled to fill up my lorem ipsum. So I'm just going to grab that and paste that in here. And let's give it a title. So about the Divi. Yeah. And as it's a heading, we're going to change it to H1. And I'm not really liking the red background, so let's change that. Maybe make it white. And we're going to change the title, because I think we used able here, so let's make it consistent and make the title for the heading here also able. Maybe make it a bit bigger as well. Perfect. So our about section is now styled. So something a bit advanced I like to make sure that my items are vertically aligned, and I don't like having this like huge white space here. So I'll put the link to this resource for anyone who might need it. And I literally copy and paste this verbatim into almost every single website that I build. And so I'll do the same for you too. So what this few lines of code will do is we'll make sure that the image and the text are vertically aligned. So we're now going to edit, advanced, custom CSS. I would like to comment properly. And name this properly so I can actually remember to reuse it again. And we just need to do a little bit of changes to equalize the column heights and then assign the CSS class to both columns. And then boom. The image and the text are vertically aligned. So 2 sections down, 3 more to go. We've done our hero section with a call to action and a nice little cute logo. We've done our about section, a very simple image with some simple text. And now we're gonna style the testimonial. So let's save everything, exit out of the visual builder and see the progress that we've made together. So about takes us to the about section. Home takes us to the hero section. And the call to action takes us to the Divi Meetup. So now let's add some testimonials to the testimonial section down here. So we're going to go in again and enable the visual builder. And we have Khaled Ipsum on standby. So we're going to add a title row. So we're just going to do a single row right across and put title. And and again, we're going to use able. So typically in my workflow, I would use a customizer to style all the fonts ahead of time. But because I really wasn't sure as to what kind of font I was going to use, we're just going to manually do it for every single section. Now, I think we have a nice white and black moody kind of vibe going on here. So I think I'll make this section black, just so we keep in the same kind of vibe. And that means I'll have to make this title white so we can see it. So we're going to change this heading to white. And I'm now going to add a new module for testimonials. So add a testimonial here. And then we're going to maybe add a couple more. So we've got some testimonials. It fits in with the overall style. We have like the gray, dark gray, white. I think what I'll do is maybe make a bit more emphasis on the quotes. So let's do that. So let's customize the quote section. So edit, design. So I think I'll want the quote icon to be, let's see, white. No, I think I'm going to do the other way around. Black and then white. Yeah. And then I want to maybe make it a bit bigger. Let's say 48. Cool. And I absolutely love this feature. So we're going to use the extend to extend this to all the other quotes or testimonials throughout the site. So we're going to say this section and extend. That's one thing I love about Divi. And if you notice, the quotes are like stacked right on top of each other. So I'm also going to add some padding beneath it. So spacing, I'm going to add maybe 35 pixels, maybe a bit more. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Margin. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and extend that as well to all the other testimonial modules in the section. Beautiful. So now we have our hero section made, the first part of our website, the about section made, the second part of our website, testimonials section made, third part of our website. And now we're going to work on the blog. So I think we're going to take the same pattern. Actually, I see a bit of yellow in this photo. So I think we're going to keep this yellow to match with the photo on top. Again, keeping the same style. And I'm going to add another text. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this text block here. And I'm going to move this down into here and change the color and the actual text to be, and the text color will be black. So we can actually see it. Why isn't it changing? And then we're going to add a very simple blog element. We're going to include all the categories. And I think I'm going to make the layout grid. And I'm going to go in a bit more and style this so we can actually really make it pop. So I want the text to be centered. I want the title again to be able. I want it a bit bigger. I want the meta, which is like this section right here, the about, date, category. I want it to be black, but I want it to be ultra bold so it really stands out. And I think I'm going to also enable a read more link. And I don't want it to be blue. I want it to also be black. So read more text down here. I want it black, and I also want it ultra bold. And I think I want it all caps. So we've customized our blog section. We've styled it, made it match with the other styling across our website. And so finally, we are going to add the contact. So let's just exit out of the visual builder for now to see the progress we've made thus far. So we tested our call to action, it works. If we go to the about section, it scrolls down right on top. We have the picture and about. Let's go to the testimonials section. We have our title, we have our testimonials. Let's go to the blog section. We have our blog title, we have our actual blog post. And now we have to do the contact section. So does anyone have any questions thus far? Anything they'd like to ask me a question on? Oh, wow, there's so many chats. Okay, let me go. No problem, Angelina. Thank you for coming by. Thanks, Robert. I'm glad that you're enjoying today's session. Really do appreciate it. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're now going to work on the last section, which is going to be the contact section. So I think I might make this another white section just to keep up with the overall theme that we have going on and pulling from the style of the main hero image. So we're going to color this again, white, give it a white background. And I think I'm going to do 2 columns. but I'm going to change the spacing. I think I'm going to have a 4th column here and then 3/4 over here. So we're going to add a contact form module right here. And we'll leave it as that. And then I think here I want to put, let's say, some social media icons. And let's customize these a bit. Let's make the background black to match with the rest of this site. I think we're going with like a black and yellow and white type of vibe. And then let's add maybe an Instagram icon. And let's also change that to black as well. And then maybe LinkedIn, because a lot of people love LinkedIn. And change the color to black. Oh, and then let's add the title section right on top, which I forgot to do. And again, we're just going to copy this module from here, paste it in here. Got to love Divi for that. You can just copy and paste modules. Okay. And then let's put a blurb for email. Let's give it a nice icon. Let's find the email icon. That's a bit loud. So let's change it to be on the left-hand side and move it above here. And then let's go in and change the color of this, because I think we have a button up here and it's like a white outline with white text. So let's make this a black outline with black text. So we're going to edit this, design, and then button. And we're going to use custom style. So we want the button text color to be black. And there we have it. And now we're going to save. And we do have some little changes to make. So we want to get rid of this footer over here. So let's quickly move into the back end, go to widgets, and delete this over here. And when we exit the visual builder here, let's refresh one more time just for good measure. We click on About, we have our About section. We click on Testimonials, we have our Testimonials. We click on Blog, we have our blog section. And we click on Contact, and we have our Contact section. And why are these still here? What is that? Oh, footer area. Haha. Remove that over here. And if we refresh like that, then we're all done. So that is a walkthrough on how to build a very simple website that is a one-page website in Divi. Together, we literally did this. Even when we did find a bug in Divi itself, we fixed that bug and we were able to go according to, number one, all these aspects we created. And I think we got to number 8. So we didn't do an opt-in. We haven't tested the contact form, which I'm sure works, but we're all done. And so that's really how simple it is to be able to create a one-page website, which can serve as a landing page, which can serve as a one-page website. It can also serve as a sales page. And it's very easy to move around some items, add some things together, and be able to build this website. So it is 8:30. This is our time. However, the recording of this will be live on YouTube tomorrow at christinagwira.com/meetup or youtube.com/Christina Gwira. But at this time, are there any questions? Does anyone have any thoughts or comments about building their very own WordPress one-page website using Divi, you can use a chat box, or you can unmute yourself and we can take it from there. Yeah, Rick, it is much easier to build in Divi for sure. Yeah. So we did this together in about 45 minutes, and that is including doing some bug fixes. So it is very, very simple to do. I think, Sonia, you unmuted yourself?
Oh, hey, can you just, what did you say that the link was going to be for the YouTube video?
So it's going to be, I'll put it in the chat, but it's going to be youtube.com/Christina Gwira or
Awesome.
ChristinaGwira.com/meetup. So that's where I typically add in the meetup notes, if there are any, or any past meetup notes or past meetup recordings. So either of those two places, you can find the recording tomorrow.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. And anybody else have any other questions? Awesome. So what I will do is I will stop the recording since it is our time. And I'm actually really grateful that we're able to build the website and fix the bug on our time. So thank you so much, everyone who joined in. Really appreciate you being here. And if you do want to reach out to me, you can definitely send me an email or reach out to me via Meetup, and I can answer any questions you may have. Like I mentioned earlier, the recording for this entire walkthrough, including the bugs, will be up on YouTube by end of day tomorrow. And if you do have any questions, you can leave in the comment section over there or shoot me a private message on meetup.com. But thank you so much, everybody, and I probably won't see you until January, where we're doing a site clinic. So I would love it if you do build out a one-page website over the holiday season. I would love to see what you built at our next meetup, which is happening on the last Thursday in January, which is a site clinic. So it's basically helping each other out with Divi WordPress situations or issues and getting clarity. So thank you once again for being here. I'm stopping the recording now.